Hey, what up, everybody? It's your boy JP here. I wanted to do another quick recipe with you today. This one is entirely my own composition. It's nothing absolutely crazy, but the result is phenomenal. So it's called O Canada. So stay tuned. We're going to do this right after this. All right, so let me tell you what this is all about. Many of you are probably familiar with Irish Cream, and there's all kinds of varieties of coffee creamers that are just a little bit spiked, hence our little friend or fellow here. What we're going to do today is something very similar, but it's a Canadian version, so it's no longer Irish, it's Canadian. And why is it Canadian? Well, most of the ingredients that we have here today are Canadian. So let me do the rundown of the ingredients with you, then we'll do the recipe. It's going to be done in like 5 minutes. It's going to take me 15 minutes to explain though. So I'll see you after the jump. Okay, here are our ingredients. So let me start with the star of this whole thing. This is our local whiskey here in Canada. Well, we have quite a few. I mean, if we go back to the Prohibition, we've been doing whiskey of all kinds for quite a while now. But this is certainly one of the most common and most popular ones. So this is Canadian Club. I buy it in the larger container because I use it for cooking. So it's kind of inexpensive, but it's still pretty good. So this is the main star. And because it's cream, we got here some 10% coffee cream. I would strongly recommend using creams 10% and up, nothing less than that. Part of the reason being cream is better for you than milk when it comes to diabetes, and there's less sugar and there's more fat in cream than there is in just regular milk and lower concentrations. Here we have maple syrup. This is a local blend. It's kind of tricky to show on camera with the corrugated edges, but technically it's a semi-dark one. It's not extremely expensive. Well, then again, we're in Canada. We get a lot of that stuff. This is what I'm going to substitute for sugar. Obviously fake sugar, sucralose. If you look it up, this is one of the sweet sugar substitutes that our body tolerates the best. Not good for cooking though. It will not melt and it will not cook properly, so you might not want to use this in all your recipes, but in a solution like coffee, it's great. So this is exactly the same sweetness, this mix, as regular sugar. So a teaspoon of this is a teaspoon of sugar, right? But if you don't like your coffee sweet, you can skip this altogether. And then finally, I have here some maple extract. So maple extract is a little bit tricky to find. The one that you're going to get is usually kind of dilute. It's kind of weak in flavor. Don't worry about it. Just consider the recipe using 10 drops means using 6 drops of the fake stuff. So the fake stuff is very concentrated. The real stuff is only, I would say, about 40% dilute of it. So 10 drops of this real stuff is the equivalent of 6 drops of the fake stuff. All right, let's get right to it. So on the jar, and I'm going to begin by adding the maple syrup. So there's about 125 milliliters here. And from this point forward, unless it is a recipe that already calls for things that are made by somebody else, I'm going to be using the local, or if you would like, the metric system, every chance I get. So about 125 milliliters of maple syrup, and then we're going to add coffee cream, half the jar. So this is 500 milliliters, half a jar is going to be about there. Then we're going to grab our vanilla extract, move this away, and we're going to put 10 drops of this in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you have trouble getting the real vanilla extract, don't worry about it too much. You can get the the fake stuff, but you will be using about 4 drops instead of 10. So the real stuff is a lot more, pardon me, a lot more dilute. So you have to add more to get the same effect. All right, so now we have to add this. And how much do you put? Very simple, you fill it. If there's enough left in here, and finally this stuff here, which is just as sweet as sugar, so if you decide to put sugar instead of this stuff, or you may not put it at all, I'm going to add 4 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to mix it up real quick. Okay, so I like to use this glass rod. It's from an old chemistry set. Easy to clean. You should see that the consistency is kind of rich. It's thicker than milk or water would be, obviously. And another way you can go about it, which I also enjoy, is simply to close it up and give it a good shake. Make sure it's closed tight though, because this thing is a little bit sticky. It could make a mess. And this will contribute to the thickness just because you shake it and aerate it. So you might want to give it a little shake like that just before you serve, and it'll make it a little bit more creamy in texture. And there you have it. This is called O Canada. So this is a coffee creamer, or you could use it in a dessert or wherever else you would use Irish cream, except that it's not Irish cream, it's Canadian cream. So I hope you enjoy it. Cheers!